Universal Design for Learning is an approach to curriculum that minimizes barriers and maximizes learning for all students. Whoa, that's a fancy term. Universal Design for Learning. Let's unpack it a bit. Let's think about the word universal. By universal, we mean curriculum that can be used and understood by everyone. Each learner in the classroom brings her own background, strengths, needs, and interests. Curriculum should provide genuine learning opportunities for each and every student. Now let's think about the word learning. Learning is not one thing. Neuroscience tells us that our brains have three broad networks. One for recognition, the what of learning, one for skills and strategies, the how of learning, and one for caring and prioritizing, the why of learning. Students need to gain knowledge, skills, and enthusiasm for learning, and a curriculum needs to help them do all three. But every learner is unique, and one size does not fit all. So how do we make a curriculum that challenges and engages diverse learners? This is where the word design comes in. A universally designed building is planned to be flexible and to accommodate all kinds of users, with and without disabilities. It turns out that if you design for those in the margins, your building works better for everyone. Curb cuts and ramps are used by people in wheelchairs, people with strollers, and people on bikes. Captioning on TV serves people who are deaf, people learning English, people in gyms, and spouses who get to sleep at different times. UDL takes this idea and applies it to the design of flexible curriculum. UDL goes beyond access because we need to build in support and challenge. So how do we use the UDL framework to make learning goals, methods, materials, and assessments that work for everyone? First, ask yourself, what is my goal? What do I want my students to know, do, and care about? Then ask, what barriers in the classroom might interfere with my diverse students reaching these goals? To eliminate the barriers, use the 3 UDL principles to create flexible paths to learning so that each student can progress. Number 1, provide multiple means of representation. Present content and information in multiple media and provide varied supports. Use graphics and animation, highlight the critical features, activate background knowledge, and support vocabulary so that students can acquire the knowledge being taught. Number 2, provide multiple means of action and expression. Give students plenty of options for expressing what they know and provide models, feedback, and supports for their different levels of proficiency. Number 3, provide multiple means of engagement. What fires up one student won't fire up another. Give students choices to fuel their interests and autonomy. Help them risk mistakes and learn from them. If they love learning, they will persist through challenges. And remember, always keep in mind the learning goal. Get rid of barriers caused by the curriculum and keep the challenge where it belongs. And that's it. Okay, quick recap. Show the information in different ways, allow your students to approach learning tasks and demonstrate what they know in different ways, and offer options that engage students and keep their interest. Universal Design for Learning equals learning opportunities for all. For more information on UDL, go to www.cast.org.
This is just another format of that video, and basically just talks about each of the brain and how the 3 bases of UDL engage the 3 different where your brain learns. So engagement, representation, action for expression. And one thing that I've been working with in my teachers is 3 things to remember. It's really overwhelming, but give your kids choices on how they learn it. Give your kids choices on how they can express their learning, and then give choices on their assessments and how they can demonstrate their learning. And then if you can just be flexible in those 3 things and think broad, you're going to hit all the kids in your class. So on your computers, you should either draw a picture of what you think UDL looks like or find an image and then submit it. So if you want to find a Google image or picture.
happy face.
Let's just go be that student that.
I'm super excited about this. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
So like once
It's
everyone,
engaging in an intense
Yeah.
science experiment, it looks like.
once everybody shares, what we could do then is like Laura, if we were gonna use yours, we could just put yours up and then it would go on everybody's screen. But then that does mean nobody else can share after that point. So as a teacher, you can pick the ones that you need, you can highlight or talk about what's wrong with it and then what was good about it.
Then can you go click on somebody else's?
Yeah,
Like,
I can, yep.
Okay.
And you guys will just be following along.
Oh, that's a nice foundation on that house. Oh, a car with two different fronts. That's interesting. Kids excited about learning. What are those called?
Wordles?
Wordles. Isabella, brings back some memories of our earlier class, Chelsea.
This little guy's
Back there, I can't really read it, Mike, but I trust that it's probably pretty good.
It's a Google.
So we'll share Mike, so now you're gonna end up, if you didn't do it, you're gonna look at this one. So if you share it, go over here and share. Everybody would see Mike's on their screen. And then we could have Mike talk about it or something like that.
Mhm.
So that's just a way of sharing from the teacher point. Let's just keep going so we can finish up. Just close in.
Okay, and we just wanted to kind of highlight that this, just don't take our word for it, okay? I linked in an article, if we go to the next one, from Education Week that talks about how Every Student Succeeds Act actually spotlights UDL as a meaningful way that schools can start to undertake the large responsibility of actually teaching and engaging and ensuring all of their learners are excelling. So it's throughout there, and there is federal money for schools that want to undertake such a large task. We don't know how those federal monies are going to be given yet, or in what percentage, but it's everywhere right now, and it's becoming more popular.
We're gonna skip that one. Yeah, I'm supposed to do a fill in the blank, but the answer's already there, so we'll just keep going. What questions do you still have about curriculum design?
So if you have questions that you want us to address right now, feel free to kind of throw them in the pot here. And if you don't, feel free not to answer, or just write simply, no questions, I'm good.
There was a template back that kind of shows a curriculum mapping of backwards design. That teachers are really overwhelmed, and it worked really well to give them each this just to kind of think about it and start planning, so that if they are like using some type of curriculum, a software, that they actually have a idea of what a curriculum map would look like. So that's, yeah.
Good question.
Seems easier like math, science.
We're doing it right now in literacy with 8th grade language arts studies.
But even literacy in the lower grades, looking at the foundations, looking at the different ways that you can address phonics, looking at the different ways, there's a lot. There's a lot that
Concrete,
you could-
representational, and
Yeah.
abstract.
Can students have control over the Nearpod? Don't like that I can't go back and I have to go at your pace. Oh, yeah, no.
Like,
No.
No, they can't.
PowerPoint, like I can go back, but I mean like.
So
I
something
can go
that you
back.
could do with the Nearpod is we could create a PDF of our Nearpod and send it to you for your reference later if you wanted to kind of go back and rehash things.
But the point of it with the class is you don't want the kids skipping ahead, clicking, or
Or
going back. You
behind.
want them with you.
I wanted to like, I wanted to like
next time we'll supply a PDF, so you can kind of move back and forth at your own pace, for sure. Numbers, this time?
And then, just quickly, the, document that, say something request for us, I don't know why I do so, but there is a link on here, and once Chrissy can share with all of us, you'll be able to get to those templates too. And
And
it
it's
sets
just
out,
based on months, and then this, number of days it takes Dan